Good day. This is a message for the Victoria Downtown Residents Association. My name is David Arthur Johnston. I'm a candidate for Mayor of Victoria. You've a Mayoral Candidates forum on the 10th. I think that might be today. Oh, what does that say about me not knowing the date? Gosh. I wasn't necessarily built to be an administrator. I can understand and empathize with the lack of an invitation to this candidates meeting, me and the other unlikely candidates. And you're missing out. And however common or usual your residents association's candidates meetings are in its exclusion, all of the other districts, communities of Victoria have been wonderful. They've there is of course the questionable or maybe not so thought out formats for some of their candidates meetings where the popular candidates get the brunt of the questions asked and whatnot. And I guess that's to be expected. At the same time, the outright exclusion is making obviously arrogant presumption. I mean, what happens if I win? Beyond the base rudeness, all of Victoria's gonna know the whoever's organizing these events for the Residents Association is lacking in foresight. Essentially, it's embarrassing. And for the candidates attending, it's a little tiny bit of shame they're letting slide. I do have a good mandate, something rare. I've been well received. There's some obviousnesses that are being ignored in the the usual and common and everyday normal politicianness of the candidates, the smile and wave. There's stuff that needs to happen in this town, and I'm the one that can get it done to start it. I'm disposable, some may say. I have nothing to lose. But we're not dumb. The populace of Victoria isn't dumb. They have the internet. We general public has, in general, raised their intelligence a degree or two. And they can see when they're being effed over. And a lot of people, of course, just sort of let it happen. Part of the, you learn to, that being grown up means you gotta protect your own, even if it means lying or making psychotic excuse. The streets have been flooded with drugs. There's addicts everywhere. The sentiment that's growing around it is ridiculous and exponential and piling on top of itself as we go through the years of it escalating. And we're pretending we're a rich town, and we pretend that there's a housing boom with all the towers being built and whatnot, which is funny because, well, you need to understand, Victoria is in debt. This bridge essentially is the brunt of it right now. The Blue Bridge scandal $100 million plus debt for a loan we took to build that bridge for a population of less than 100,000. And we are allowed a float, a certain amount of money that the people were indebted to allow us to have to maintain the ability to generate revenue or maintain the day-to-day operations of a city. And this float is being used for things like $30 million pools and just multi-million-dollar projects that are being used, that they call it forward thinking, or the bike lanes. They're a fine idea for a city that wants to step into the future and you know, set a foundation of a healthy civilization. But we're ignoring the fact that we have this giant debt, and so every developer that goes to City Hall has an advantage. And so in a sense we're being held hostage. And to that end, we have the machinations of civil engineering trying to brand the popular mindset with this idea of densification, which isn't a word, by the way, that they're trying to imply that everyone thinks that we need to have towers. That's average Joe, you know, it builds an economy. We want to keep building these towers because then we can keep pretending that it's a building boom and not a manic attempt to spend money we don't have on buildings so we can pay workers with money we don't have as we go deeper and deeper into debt. And so some fundamental things need to happen. The extreme of one step less than a full-on state of emergency. And so we need tent cities. And tent cities don't work when there is this massive addiction epidemic being a justification for flailing and rage and defamation of character via association. So we got to get rid of the drugs, or at least demonstrate to the gangsters at the source of these drugs that there is that they don't want to live in hell either. And if we want to escape on a fundamental, basic level, we have to admit that we've stepped beyond our means. And at the same time, I understand the political nature of, we have $1 billion tourism industry, and so we can't straight up have you know, in the newspaper a declaration of a state of emergency. And so we got to play it down this middle line where we remember our hippie nature. I have a huge platform. Research me on Facebook. I'm not going to explain it all here. I love you all, and have a good meeting. All right. Okay, bye.